Hey, what's up? My name is Royce 59, and this is Voices. I definitely appreciate that. I take whatever props I get, man. You know, I've been around for a minute. You know what I mean? I definitely think that the best rapper alive is really difficult to like put a finger on who that could be. Like I don't even know if that's a possibility, just because music is art and it's based off of preference. But I think I'm good enough to be in the conversation, so I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's really competitive. It's really competitive. It's just not full contact. There's a difference. You know, like you can compete. You know, you can see somebody and shake their hand, and then run back to the studio and look at your computer and look at your numbers versus their numbers. You're still competing. It's just not full contact. You don't got rappers going at other rappers and really coming for blood. And there was like a long period of time in hip hop where artists did that. So I guess it's just time for something different. Tomato, tomato. Whatever. Nah, it wasn't hard at all. I mean, when I first started my sobriety, when I first decided to stop drinking and I was about to start writing again, I was gonna keep it a secret. I wasn't gonna rap about my sobriety. I wasn't gonna tell anybody that I stopped drinking. I was just gonna stop, make all my life changes, behind the scenes, and what I'm saying, keep my family intact and just be a rapper, keep on rapping about what I was rapping about. But once I touched on it a few times and I realized like how much I was helping people, and I got a chance to go on tour and like touch the people individually and listen to their testimony and them tell me how much me talking about it helped them, I started to feel like, oh, okay, so now I'm feeling kind of accepted. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm feeling like it was the first time in my career that I felt like I felt good about rapping about something good, as opposed to feeling bad or feeling good about rapping real good about something bad. You know what I'm saying? Like that was usually my pattern. Feeling good about rapping really good about something bad. This is the first time I felt really good about rapping about something good. So it just lit a spark, and I started going to therapy, and it just helped me to just kind of like open up and just kind of start thinking free and just being free with the creativity and just not holding back. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's something that, you would have probably looked at as kind of embarrassing, it's like, how embarrassing is it if it can help people, if it can help somebody else, like, and plus I'm comfortable in my skin now. Like, I'm not seeking validation from anybody on no type of level. Like, I'm just not, you know what I mean? So once you can get in that space, that really comfortable head space, you can move a mountain. The album is, it's my most complete body of work. What I wanted to do was kind of showcase everything that I could do. I wanted to showcase everything that I could do, every side of my creativity, and also every side of myself. Previously when I worked, I kind of went in the booth and I kind of just gave you Royce the rapper as I saw it at that moment. And then I grew to realize that there's much more to me. Well, I always knew there was much more to me, but there's much more to me that needs to be said that people may want to know about. A lot of times we come into the game and we just feel like, I got some things in my story, but it ain't nothing nobody want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should never try to predetermine that. Like, my job as an artist, and I'm learning now, is just to be the best version of myself that I could be, and tell as much of myself as I can, because nobody can be me like me. So I'm learning that, and I'm not holding back, and I'm moving with it. So, it's just basically showing all my layers from a creative standpoint and a personal standpoint. And it's a lot of reflecting. It's a lot of reflecting on all the good and the bad from my childhood. And, it starts to tell the story, and it starts to give you more of a visualization of why I am how I am today. The good and the bad. Yeah, the strong friend is usually the person who who everybody vents their frustration to, you know, the person who could wear all the hats. The strong friend can wear every single hat except the vulnerable one. You know, the strong friend is so strong, he can be the person who you can lean, you can cry on his shoulder. He can be the only person at the funeral who's not crying. He can carry the casket. He can console everybody. But once it's that one moment of vulnerability where he's in pain or he's feeling weak, he can't even find the strength to admit it, say something to somebody and speak out. So you as the friend of the strong friend, you got to be willing to see the signs. But if you're one of those friends who you look at this person like they're just invincible and they the strong friend to you, you never check up on this person. If they're the strong friend and they are that vulnerable and they don't even have the strength to be able to admit when something is wrong, and what does that make you? You know, and that's kind of like the weird kind of dynamic of the song and the weird kind of dynamic of certain relationships. You know, like especially in the business, like I developed in the business, and it was certain relationships that I had in the past, some relationships I had in the past where it was certain people who didn't even call me unless they needed money. You know, like, and it got to a point where I was just giving it to them just so I don't have to deal with them. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it is just, and I think of just because, you know, I'm in a certain financial position or I appear to be doing so well, or I appear to be taking everything fine or handling everything fine because I don't vent outward or I don't complain about the state of everything, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going through something, you know. So be cool to get a phone call just to check in on the big homie, you know, like that's always cool. It's cool to feel loved, you know what I mean, like, and not used. And usually, man, when you hear about suicides, you usually hear, I never knew anything was wrong. I never knew. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's clockwork. It's like clockwork every time. But if you really pay attention, they show you signs. You know, they'll show you signs. Different people act out in different ways. So I just felt like it was something to touch on. You know, we lost a lot of cool people. You know, we lost Chester Bennington, who I spoke about on the song. We lost Capital Steez, just to name a few, you know. So I just thought that was an interesting dynamic in the song. One of my favorite songs, too, on the album. Probably a rumor spread about me that ain't true. That's what the fake do. If I'm the strong friend, then what the fuck do that make you? Like, and it can be taken so many different ways. And the main way is pay attention to yourself. Know yourself, love yourself. You know, like I said earlier, like I'm not seeking validation from anybody. And once I started feeling like that, man, it was like I was able to love myself a lot more. I was able to appreciate myself more. I was able to give myself a lot more validation when I wasn't seeking it from others. You know, like, you can't depend on other people for that type of fulfillment, because you'll never get it. People will let you down all the time, you know, for various reasons. You know, so and then, you know, like you stagger yourself by depending on somebody so much, and you looking to this person so much that you don't see the signs, and you can't even be there for them after they've been there for you so much. You can't even be there for them the one time that they really need you, and then you lose them. You know, that's like a nightmare. You know what I mean? So I felt like that line was a very good way to sum up the song, and that was the very last line of the song. Book of Ryan, available now on all platforms. Go check that out. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time looking at the comments. Let me know what you think.
Best boxer right now?
Best boxer right now is Terrence Crawford.
Okay, I just had to ask that because I know you're a big guy. That was just random, but I know you're a big boxer.
Boxing is never random.
I just wanted to see